Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. Now, let's not forget that just a couple of years ago, Oscar Pistorius was jailed for 6 years. In other words, he has to serve 6 years behind bars for that tragic situation where he shot his girlfriend behind the toilet door. Now, consider the seriousness of what happened with Pistorius and the seriousness of a very senior cop literally handing out thousands of guns to gangs in the Cape. How many people have they killed? Well, this once top cop has only spent 4 years behind jail, and he's now free. Let me add a bit of meat to the bone. It has been revealed that former Colonel Chris Lodvik Prinsloo was paroled in April 2020. He was spotted in Gauteng, where he lives, but has since disappeared. Now, this is a very recent article. This article is dated the 16th of October, so even though we're talking about him being paroled in April, this has only just become public knowledge. Prinsloo, by default, is connected to assassinated anti-gang unit section head Charles Kinnear, as Kinnear was continuing investigations that had at first exposed Prinsloo and other South African police service members in 2013. Kinnear was murdered in a hit on the 18th of September 2020. We covered that on the main Loving Life channel, outside his home in Bishop Lavis. One suspect, Zane Killian, has been arrested and charged with murder, attempted murder, and illegal surveillance. Killian tracked Kinnear's cell phone up until and shortly after the detective's assassination. Inquiries over several weeks to correctional services with regard to Prinsloo's parole have been met with the standard, "We are unable to answer your question due to security reasons." The Prinsloo, convicted of such serious charges, served only 4 years of his 18-year sentence, and that demands an explanation. Oh my gosh, yes it does. Who was it that ordered the corrupt cop be paroled, and on what grounds? Prinsloo's charge sheet in 2015, after his dramatic arrest, contained the names of hundreds of children who have died or been wounded in the escalating gang warfare in the Western Cape. For 6 years, the top cop and his colleague, Colonel D.C. Naidu, both custodians of the South African Police Service Armory, fed guns to a network of gangsters across the Western Cape through an intermediary, businessman Urshad Hunter Lahare. The firearms entrusted to the officers included illegal firearms surrendered by law-abiding citizens, and they were just meant to be tracked, stored, or destroyed. Instead, they found their way into the ghettos of Cape Town, and surrounds were spread, and concomitant spike of gang violence began to trouble law enforcement agencies, which were already stretched. It was a small Western Cape team of detectives led by Major General Jeremy Veery, which ultimately blew open the hornet's nest. The bust was set out in Prinsloo's court papers and began with Captain Clive Joseph Ontong, a member of the South African Police Service stationed at the Western Cape Provincial Detectives Special Crimes Firearms Section, checking out the ballistics on weapons seized in a raid. In 2013, the ballistic unit of the South African Police Service Forensic Science Lab in the Western Cape reported that it had received about 22 unlicensed firearms, and that they had been confiscated from members of gangs operating in and around the greater Cape Town area. In his statement, Ontong remarked that ballistics had found that all these unlicensed firearms had been altered identically in such a way that the firearm could not be linked to the South African Police Service database, recording the history of firearms that had previously been seized. However, certain serial and laboratory numbers were recovered, which identified the firearms as having in the past been sent by the South African Police Service in the Western Cape to the South African Police Service head office in Pretoria for destruction. Also, of the 22 identified firearms, 19 were recorded as previously belonging to the South African Police Service, while 3 had been privately owned. The statement reads, "As a result of aforesaid report, a suspicion arose that there could be someone responsible for the smuggling of firearms in the Western Cape from the police firearms stores held in Gauteng, where the destruction of firearms takes place. An inquiry was registered and Ontong was appointed as the investigating officer. In August 2014, Ontong and his team, including members from the ballistics unit of the FSL Western Cape, inspected the firearms stores in Gauteng. Here they discovered 5 firearms in different stages of being altered. They also established that these firearms were identical to the type of firearms seized from gang members in the Western Cape. For 2 years, Prinsloo, once a respected policeman who was considered the firearms guru in the South African Police Service, did not touch his police salary. Instead, he and his family comfortably lived off the proceeds of crime, traveling overseas, paying university fees, buying safe cars. Prinsloo's sentence was thought to have been a message sent to corrupt cops selling guns to criminals before a hefty 18-year sentence was imposed. Prinsloo early release, considering the volatile situation in the Western Cape, where South African Police Service members fear fellow South African Police Service members, is a decision that could not have been taken without consultation and agreement at high levels. The dead and traumatized of the Western Cape are owed an explanation." As I said at the very start of this, consider Oscar Pistorius. He's got 6 years behind bars. This guy only got 4. Absolutely crazy. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, please stay safe. Bye for now.